evening. You're watching SMNI. This is Business and Politics. I'm your host, Dante Klinkang. The topic tonight is mainly about the real estate industry, but the discussion will likely relate to the investment climate in the Philippines and sustainability. For that, we have invited Melissa ELSIE CHUA, Chief Executive Officer of CDC Holdings Incorporated and Executive Vice President of CREBA. With her is Teche Bautista, President of Jefferson Realty and Development Corporation and CREBA's Vice President for Academic Affairs. CREBA is the Chamber of Real Estate and Builders Associations. It is a private, non-stock, non-profit corporation that started out as a union of Philippine business that's evolved into the umbrella organization of some 4,000 firms, individuals, and associations directly or indirectly involved in land development and housing, construction, allied industries, and various professional disciplines. As the EVP of CREBA, Ms. Chua brings not only her exceptional business acumen, but also her wide influence among key decision makers in helping push for the Chamber's major advocacy initiatives to fulfill its vision for the future. The opening sentence of that vision statement is business with a social conscience. For her part, Ms. Bautista is a human resource expert and educator. She also has a lengthy record in the industry, but her most known accomplishment is the establishment of the Executive Diploma Program in Real Estate Management, which is a collaboration between CREBA and De La Salle University. We will ask our guests, how can we build a better Philippines for everyone? Ms. ELSIE, Ms. Teche, thank you for making time for Business and Politics. I know this is a busy time for CREBA.
Yes.
Yes.
We're preparing a lot of things.
Yes. So there are a lot of things going on in the country. Obviously, we're making a big rebound after the pandemic. But how is real estate? What are you hearing from your members? Are they optimistic about what you're seeing, or are they a bit cautious? Maybe let's start with Ms. ELSIE.
For us, I think during the pandemic, it shows the pattern of how the buyer preference to live was changed.
Okay.
Now they're looking for more wellness,
Okay.
more space, breathing space, and more greening.
And what about you, Ms. Teche? What are you hearing from your fellow CREBA members?
We're definitely excited about developments in real estate and housing. No? First and foremost, of course, is the 4P program of President Bongbong.
Okay.
Talking about 6 million production. That's
houses,
really
yeah.
huge. No?
Yeah.
But it also brings to mind a lot of other elements that has to be addressed
Sure.
for that dream to become a reality.
Sure. What is the climate now as you see it? Is it conducive to your industry? I mean, we're hearing a lot of headwinds, although they say that the Philippines is doing well, but there are other things that we are affected by coming from abroad, the inflation, right, the supply chain issues. How are we managing?
For us, the challenge for the developers is the rising cost of materials.
Sure.
So we cannot peg as in before, but the people's choice of housing, the demand become more of end user market.
End user.
Yes, and more of housing.
Okay.
Not more on investment portfolio.
I see. Yeah, I've been hearing some people say that, it depends on the segment.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes.
Because they tell me that, for the higher segment of the market, it's always been steady. Pandemic, no pandemic, there's always a demand for it. As you said, the investment part, I guess, which is between the 2 million to 5 million, does it include condos or does it include also single detached homes? These are the ones that are facing a bit of a challenge.
What has been corrected is the flipping investment. It's
Okay.
not the industry or level.
Okay.
In the population, 5% is a high-end market. And the biggest chunk is the 40% of lower middle to upper middle market. So now it's more on direct end user market. So it's positive for us and it's booming. You'll be surprised when we were locked down, we're selling more.
Really? Wow.
Yes, we sells more. So, and people have more savings during the lockdown.
Okay.
But they become so selective that they become more, how you call that, choosy in selecting the sites, but they prefer to have more breathing space, more landscape, more wellness conscious, as I said earlier. And this time after the pandemic, our housing has multiplied. For my case in Series C is double the target that we have, or at least 50% of our sales of previous years.
CDC's market is mainly middle income. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
But the industry, your locations are within central business or very close to CBDs.
Our position always is to buy properties on the fringes.
Okay.
So that fringes of CBD,
Yeah.
so that it's close proximity to work,
Right.
to school, and for accessibility.
And that's good also for the environment, right? You don't drive to work.
Yes, because we have to balance the pricing. As I told you,
Yeah.
if your market is a mid-income, there is only an amount of money that they can afford.
Sure.
So if you buy property in the CBD, we cannot balance the price. So,
Right.
And we always use Pag-ibig program for our financing in our
Right.
project at CDC.
Right. We were talking earlier, you were saying, the Pag-ibig Fund is one of the achievements of CREBA.
Yeah.
You want to expound on
yeah.
that a bit?
Oh no, I'm talking about the advocacies of CREBA.
Right.
We're a 50-year-old organization. We are an umbrella organization
Right.
covering all facets of real estate and housing. Now, advocacy level kami. So,
Right.
we go beyond the business concerns of
Right.
our individual members and focus on the advocacy that will make the industry efficient, no?
Right.
And responsive to the situations.
Right.
So, yung isa sa mga pinaglaban din namin is the Unified Home Lending Program.
Of
Lahat ng pera for the housing nakalagay lang sa isang hindi kalat-kalat, no?
Right.
So that it can have the same rules, the same procedures and everything, magiging mas efficient. Walang natatapon.
Right.
So that's why very particular kami and happy and that Pag-ibig is able to really comply with its role in providing funds.
And not many people know that that's part of your advocacy.
Yes, we have fought for it long and hard.
Tell me about Jetterson. I mean, I'm not so familiar with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I started off, the reason why I'm very familiar with production and housing is because I started off as an accredited contractor of Manny Villar.
Right.
No? Nung time na nag-umpisa pa lang si Manny, kami yon, yung
Right.
mga bundok na napupuno ng bahay.
Right.
Ang Jetterson was one of them. And through the years, we have evolved. Right now, we're focusing on warehousing. Simple na lang. So, mahirap yung mass production. So, yun ang ginagawa namin ngayon. But being in charge of the academic program of CREBA requires me to be on top of what's going on. I have to be well informed and
Sure.
updated. So, alam ko pa rin kung ano. I'm very active in, the advocacies of CREBA and making representations to the different agencies in promoting the industry. So, yun ang ginagawa ko ngayon.
I see. I think you mentioned earlier that, of course, the cost of goods is something that is
rising.
challenging everyone, not just your industry, but, practically every consumer. How are we coping, and what is your outlook? The U.S. Fed seems to be signaling that they might be, again, raising interest rates. They're not opposed to raising interest rates, and I'm not sure if the Philippine monetary authorities are listening to that, but of course that raises some concerns. What have you been hearing?
Definitely, this will affect the industry because if the interest goes high, it will slow down our selling power or selling of our houses. Because like in our company, CDC Homes, we advocate like when you buy a home from us, it's like lease to own. So if the cost of the interest goes up, hindi na siya lease to own.
Right.
Yeah, so this is a challenge for us if the interest goes up.
Yeah. And you were saying, the program of the government to build so many homes. What is the backlog right now? I heard 600,000 many years ago, but that was
6 million.
Matagal
6
na.
million. Yeah.
They've been saying 6 million, but they did say saan location because
Right.
the jobs is only in Metro Manila and also key cities, right?
Yeah.
So people would love to move where there is the job.
Sure.
Ang problem right now is the rental is rising as well, other than the cost of food.
Outright buying a
Yes.
home.
So
Yeah.
instead of paying rent, when you're diligently doing your monthly amortization. It's like you're paying your rental. So hoping itong inflation will stabilize by 2026. So meantime, there's a lot of projects on hold. They tried to hold on it, but there are a lot more who continue build, like my company, CDC Homes.
Yeah. Of course, one of the new things also is the newly minted Department of Housing. Is that how is CREBA getting along with the new department?
Well, it's a necessary part of our existence in
Sure.
the industry, no? We have to live with each other.
Yeah.
Ang magandang change that happened because of the creation of the Department of Housing.
By the way,
DSUD.
CREBA was the one responsible.
You were pushing for it, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we're the
Forefront.
one who created the Department of Housing.
Oh, yeah.
It's CREBA's advocacy.
Yeah.
Okay. Kaya,
Yeah.
kaya we really work with them
Okay.
closely and we support the leadership.
Okay.
Yeah. And maganda kasi ngayon, isang lugar na lang ang
Yeah.
kausap namin.
Yeah.
Ang rule nila isa na lang, no? Kasi dati
One-stop
kanya-kanya,
shop, yeah.
the concept of one-stop shop and making the business easier and more efficient. Maganda naman. But then again, bata pa yung DSUD, no?
Yeah.
So marami pa rin silang dapat ayusin at malaman, mapag-aralan to make it more efficient and effective for the industry. But magandang development na. As mentioned by ELSIE, CREBA was at the forefront in trying to
pushing it.
to craft the law on DSUD, no?
Yeah.
Nire-recognize siya nung chairman ng housing na sa Congress na Abby Benitez, you know, he would
Now
always
mayor of Bacolod,
na the mayor of Bacolod,
Yeah.
he would always credit CREBA for being at the forefront of that law. In the case of the Senate, it was J.D. Ejercito. At sinasabi niya talaga, ang laki na naging role ng CREBA.
So let me put the million-dollar question, which is how do we get rid of the backlog? And I suppose this is not the priciest homes, but the segments, but more of the affordable housing. And as you said, a lot of people want to buy homes where there's work, but in places like Manila, for instance, where our office is located, there are hardly any space now for new development. Is that still a possible goal to pursue, you think?
I still hope, and we feel at CREBA there's still hope to fulfill and fill up the needs, like 6 million housing.
Yeah.
So CREBA is with our past chairman Charlie Gurayev has spoken during the launching of our CREBA legacy. CREBA is committing to support President BBM about the 4PH.
Yeah, 4PH.
We will commit with our group kasi our group composed of the big top 50 developers in the country. We can support the president by delivering 500,000 units per year.
Some private sector initiative.
Private sector. By way of siguro, what I can say is there should be a financing to support it. Kasi
Of course,
ang problema
if you're not sustainable,
yes,
you
ang
can't build,
problema ng mga developer, we can build, but how can we collect?
Sure.
That is the present dilemma.
Now we have to take a quick break, but very quickly, what is 4PH?
It's
Pabahay sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Okay.
Pambansang pabahay
Pambansa.
para sa pamilyang Pilipino. 4PH.
PBA.
And another challenge, I think, if the government can provide land, and that will only be the
Solve a lot.
solution.
Yeah.
Solve na lahat.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We're talking to the top executives of CREBA. We'll be right back.